Someone insults you in public. They question your competence in a meeting. They spread rumors about your character. They attack you in front of others. Your blood pressure spikes. Your face flushes. Your mind races with the perfect comeback. Every instinct in your body screams at you to defend yourself, to explain, to prove them wrong, to fight back. And in that moment, if you follow your instinct, you lose. Completely, irrevocably. Because the attacker does not care about the truth. They care about your reaction. They are feeding on your emotional response. They need you to defend yourself because your defense validates their attack. Your explanation gives them ammunition. Your justification proves you feel guilty. But what if you did something they never anticipated? What if you became a mirror? What if you reflected their attack back at them with such perfect stillness that they are forced to confront their own ugliness? What if you remained so calm, so centered, so unmoved that their attack passes through you like light through glass and illuminates them instead? This is the Mirror of Malice. This is not a tactic. This is a philosophy. A way of moving through a hostile world without accumulating damage. A method of allowing attackers to destroy themselves while you remain untouched. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Machiavelli understood that appearing unmoved by attack is more devastating than any counterattack could ever be. In the next 20 minutes, we are going to build something inside you that most people will never possess. We are going to construct a psychological mirror so perfectly polished that attacks cannot stick to it. We are going to teach you how to reflect malice, disrespect, and aggression back to the sender without ever appearing to. We are going to show you how attackers destroy their own reputations while you stand there doing nothing. But I need to warn you. This requires a level of emotional control that most people will never achieve. This requires you to kill your ego's need to be right, to be understood, to be vindicated. This requires you to accept that you do not need to win arguments. You only need to remain standing while your attacker exhausts themselves. If you are still controlled by your need for validation, if you still measure your worth by whether people believe your side of the story, then this philosophy will be impossible for you to execute. But if you are ready to transcend the need to defend, then let's begin. Let's start with the fundamental principle. An attack only works if the target reacts. Think about this carefully. When someone insults you, the insult itself is just words. Just sounds, just vibrations in air. The insult has no power until you give it power by reacting to it. Your reaction is what makes the attack successful. Your defense is what makes the accusation stick. Your explanation is what makes you look guilty. The attacker knows this instinctively. They may not be conscious of it, but they know that if they can provoke a reaction, they win. If they can make you angry, they win. If they can make you defensive, they win. If they can make you explain yourself desperately, they win. Because the person who is reacting is the person who is losing status. The person who is defending is the person who looks weak. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This sounds like mystical nonsense to most people, but it is actually a profound psychological truth. Harm is not what happens to you. Harm is your interpretation of what happens to you. If someone calls you stupid, and you interpret that as harm, you are harmed. If someone calls you stupid, and you interpret that as information about them rather than information about you, you are not harmed. This is the essence of the mirror. The mirror does not interpret. The mirror does not react. The mirror simply reflects. When light hits a mirror, the mirror does not absorb the light. It does not heat up. It does not change. It simply shows the light back to its source. When an attack hits a person operating as a mirror, they do not absorb the attack. They do not heat up emotionally. They do not change. They simply reflect the attack back to its source. Machiavelli understood this in political terms. He observed that princes who responded emotionally to every attack were quickly destroyed. They exhausted themselves fighting battles that did not matter. They revealed their weaknesses by showing what could provoke them. But the prince who remained calm, who appeared unaffected, who seemed almost amused by attacks, that prince was terrifying. Because he could not be provoked. He could not be manipulated through his emotions. He was a mirror, and mirrors cannot be defeated because they have no position to defend. Now let's talk about the mechanics of the mirror defense. This is not passive. This is not about being a doormat. This is active reflection. This is a sophisticated psychological technique that requires practice and precision. The first element is physical stillness. When someone attacks you, your body wants to react. Your shoulders want to tense. Your jaw wants to clench. Your hands want to gesture. Your face wants to contort. You must override all of this. You must become physically still, not frozen, not tense, still, relaxed but alert, like a cat watching a mouse. Your body language must communicate that you are completely comfortable, that nothing they said has landed, that you are observing them with mild curiosity rather than feeling attacked. This physical stillness is crucial because it breaks the attacker's rhythm. They launched an attack expecting a physical response. When they get stillness instead, they become uncertain. Did you hear them? Did you understand? Are you about to explode? The uncertainty creates anxiety in them, and anxiety makes people overplay their hand. The second element is facial neutrality. Your face must show nothing. Not anger, not hurt, not defensiveness, not even amusement. Nothing. A completely neutral expression. Some call this the gray rock method. You become emotionally uninteresting. The attacker is fishing for emotional response. Your neutral face tells them there are no fish in this pond. They are wasting their bait. But here is the subtle part. Neutral does not mean blank. Blank makes you look stupid or checked out. Neutral means present, but unaffected. Engaged, but unmoved. You are clearly listening, clearly processing, but clearly unbothered. This is the look of a therapist listening to a patient. The look of a judge listening to a witness. The look of someone who is evaluating rather than feeling. The third element is the pause. After the attack lands, after they finish speaking, you do not immediately respond. You pause, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. You look at them with that neutral expression. You let the silence hang. This pause does multiple things simultaneously. It shows you are not reactive. It shows you are considering your response, rather than being controlled by emotion. It makes the attacker sit with what they just said. And most importantly, it makes everyone else in the room start to feel uncomfortable for the attacker. Because here is what happens in that pause. The attacker realizes their attack is just hanging there, unanswered, undefended against, but also unrewarded. They did not get the reaction they wanted, and in that silence, their attack starts to sound ugly, petty, inappropriate. The audience, the people watching this interaction, they start to feel the cruelty of the attack because you are not fighting back. You are just standing there, taking it. And something about that makes the attacker look worse with every passing second. The fourth element is the reflection question. After the pause, you speak. But you do not defend, you do not explain, you do not counterattack. You reflect. You turn the attack into a question about them. That's an interesting perspective. What makes you see it that way? Or you seem really invested in this. What's driving that? Or simply, why do you think you feel the need to say that? Do you see what just happened? You have taken their attack and turned it into data about them. You have made it about their psychology, their motivations, their emotional state. You have not accepted the frame that you are being judged. You have reframed it so that they are being examined. And you have done this without aggression, without defensiveness, with genuine curiosity. This is devastating to an attacker because they cannot fight curiosity. If you had defended yourself, they could attack your defense. If you had counterattacked, they could escalate. But how do you escalate against someone who is calmly asking you why you feel the way you feel? How do you maintain aggression against someone who appears to be trying to understand you? The fifth element is the diagnostic observation. If they continue attacking, if they double down, you continue reflecting. But now you start making observations about their behavior, as if you are a scientist studying an interesting specimen. You are raising your voice. That's interesting. Does that usually work for you? Or, I notice you are making this personal. Is there something else going on? Or, you seem really emotionally activated right now. Do you need a moment? You are narrating their behavior back to them. You are holding up a mirror that shows them exactly what they are doing. And most people, when they see their own behavior reflected back clearly, are embarrassed. They realize they are out of control. They realize they look bad, and they start to de-escalate not because you defeated them, but because they defeated themselves by seeing their own reflection. Machiavelli wrote that the appearance of calm is more important than actual calm. But the Stoics would disagree. They would say that actual calm is what creates the appearance of calm. And they are both right. You must cultivate genuine inner stillness. You must do the work to reach a point where attacks genuinely do not disturb you. But until you reach that point, you can act as if you have reached it. And acting as if eventually becomes reality. This is where the philosophy becomes practice. You must train yourself, not in what to say, but in how to be. You must build a psychological structure that is genuinely unmovable. And you build this through repeated exposure and conscious choice. Every time someone disrespects you, you have a choice. React or reflect. Defend or mirror. Absorb or deflect. Most people react automatically. They are controlled by their programming. Someone attacks, they defend. Someone insults, they insult back. Someone tries to make them small, They try to prove they are big. This is the dance of the unconscious. This is how children fight. But you are not a child. You are a strategist, and strategists do not react. They respond. There is a difference. Reacting is automatic. Responding is strategic. Reacting is emotional. Responding is what the attacker wants. Responding is what the attacker fears. Let's talk about the types of attackers and how the mirror works on each. Because not all attacks are the same. And understanding the attacker's psychology helps you understand why the mirror is so effective. The first type is the status seeker. This person attacks you to elevate themselves. They need to be seen as superior, so they try to make you look inferior. They need an audience. The attack is performative. They are not actually angry at you. They are using you as a prop in their status display. When you refuse to play along, when you remain calm and simply observe them, you ruin their performance. The audience sees someone attacking a person who is not fighting back, and the audience's sympathy shifts to you. The status seeker loses status by seeking it so desperately. The second type is the wounded attacker. This person is in pain. They are projecting their own insecurities onto you. They are not actually attacking you. They are attacking the part of themselves they see in you. Or they are lashing out because they feel powerless elsewhere in their life. When you mirror this type, when you ask them what is really driving their behavior, sometimes they break. Sometimes they realize what they are doing. Sometimes they apologize. Because they were not really attacking you, they were crying for help in the only language they know. The third type is the true malicious. This person genuinely wants to harm you. They are not seeking status. They are not projecting. They are calculating. They want to damage your reputation, your position, your power. These are the most dangerous. And the mirror is most effective against them because malicious people rely on you defending yourself. They rely on you making mistakes under pressure. They rely on you revealing information through your desperation to explain. When you give them nothing, when you remain a perfect mirror, they have nothing to work with. They are shadowboxing, and eventually, they exhaust themselves. Marcus Aurelius faced all three types. As Emperor of Rome, he was constantly attacked. By senators seeking status, by citizens projecting their anger about the empire's problems, by genuine enemies who wanted him dead. And his response, documented in his meditations, was always the same. Remain centered. Remain unmoved. Remember that their behavior reveals them, not you. Remember that you cannot control what they do, only how you respond. Now let's address the most common objection. But if I don't defend myself, won't people believe the attack? Won't silence be interpreted as guilt? This is the fear that keeps most people defending themselves forever. And it is based on a misunderstanding of how reputation actually works. Reputation is not built by what you say about yourself. Reputation is built by what you do over time. If you have been consistently competent, consistently reliable, consistently strong, then one attack does not destroy that. One accusation does not erase years of demonstrated behavior. The people who matter, the people who actually know you, they will not believe the attack because it contradicts everything they have observed about you. But if you defend desperately, if you explain frantically, if you look panicked and guilty, then even people who know you will start to wonder, because your behavior in the moment of attack is creating new data. And that data says this person is unstable under pressure. This person is defensive. This person might actually be guilty because innocent people do not act this way. The mirror defense protects your reputation precisely because it demonstrates the qualities that build reputation: calm, control, confidence, stability. When you remain unmoved in the face of attack, you demonstrate that you are secure in yourself, that you do not need to defend because you have nothing to defend, that you are not threatened because you know your own worth. This is infinitely more convincing than any verbal defense could ever be. Machiavelli understood that perception is reality in matters of power, and the perception created by a person who remains calm under attack is the perception of innocence, strength, and superiority. The perception created by a person who defends desperately is the perception of guilt, weakness, and inferiority. Even if the first person is actually guilty and the second person is actually innocent, the perceptions remain. Because human beings are not rational. We do not evaluate truth by examining evidence. We evaluate truth by reading emotional signals. And emotional stability signals truth, while emotional reactivity signals deception. Now let's talk about the long game. Because the Mirror of Malice is not just about winning individual confrontations. It is about building a reputation over time that makes you essentially unattackable. When you consistently respond to attacks with calm reflection, something interesting happens. People stop attacking you. Not because they like you, but because attacking you is not rewarding. It does not produce the drama they crave. It does not give them the satisfaction of seeing you hurt. It makes them look bad, and you look good. So they stop. They find easier targets. This is the ultimate victory. Not winning fights, but transcending the need to fight because you have become someone that people do not attack. You have become the mirror, and mirrors are not attacked. They are avoided by people who do not want to see themselves clearly. They are sought out by people who do want to grow. The mirror sorts your relationships automatically. The malicious stay away. The genuine come closer. But building this reputation requires consistency. You cannot be a mirror sometimes and reactive other times. You cannot remain calm when the attack is small, but lose your composure when the attack is large. You must be the mirror, always, in every interaction, with every person, over years. This is the discipline. This is the practice. This is what separates those who understand the philosophy from those who embody it. Marcus Aurelius was emperor, the most powerful man in the world at that time, and he spent every day practicing Stoic philosophy, writing reminders to himself about how to remain calm, how to remain just, how to remain unmoved by praise or blame. If the emperor needed daily practice, how much more do we need it? Here is your practice. For the next 30 days, you are going to become the mirror. Every attack, every insult, every disrespect, you are going to respond with stillness, neutrality, pause, reflection, and diagnostic observation. You are not going to defend. You are not going to explain. You are not going to justify. You are going to reflect the attack back to the attacker and watch what happens. This will be excruciating at first. Every fiber of your ego will demand that you defend yourself. Every instinct will scream that you need to explain. Your hands will shake with suppressed anger. Your face will want to contort with hurt. Your mouth will want to unleash the perfect, devastating comeback that you have prepared. Do not do it. Breathe. Stay still. Stay neutral. Pause. Reflect. And watch. Watch the attacker become uncomfortable. Watch them escalate and look worse. Watch them de-escalate and back down. Watch the audience shift their sympathy to you. Watch your own nervous system calm down because you are not feeding it with reactive behavior. Watch yourself become stronger, calmer, more centered, more powerful. At the end of 30 days, you will have data, real data about how the mirror works, about how people respond when they attack someone who does not fight back, about how your own nervous system changes when you stop reacting, about how your reputation changes when you demonstrate calm under pressure. And you will have a choice. Continue being the mirror, or go back to being reactive. But once you have seen the difference, once you have felt the power of reflection, you will never want to go back. The Mirror of Malice is not a trick. It is not a technique. It is a way of being. It is the recognition that you do not need to defend yourself because your character defends itself, that you do not need to explain yourself because your actions explain themselves, that you do not need to fight every battle because most battles are not worth fighting, and the ones that are worth fighting are won not by fighting, but by standing firm while your opponent exhausts themselves. Machiavelli wrote for princes who needed to maintain power in a world full of threats. Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself as a reminder of how to remain human in a position that made everyone around him into either servants or enemies. Both understood the same truth. The person who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. The person who cannot be shaken cannot be moved. The person who remains a mirror in a world of malice becomes untouchable. You are the mirror. The attack comes. The attack is reflected. The attacker is destroyed by what they see, and you remain calm, centered, unmoved, untouched. This is not weakness. This is the ultimate strength. The strength to stand in the fire and not burn. The strength to be attacked and not react. The strength to win by doing nothing but remaining who you are. If this philosophy resonates with you, if you are tired of defending yourself, if you are tired of explaining yourself, if you are tired of being controlled by other people's attacks, then you know what to do. Not because you need permission, but because you have decided that you are done reacting. You are done defending. You are done being moved by malice. You are becoming the mirror. And mirrors reflect, but are never stained.